read your open letter to Jared Goff. Why'd you write something to Jared? What was that?
Well, I mean, it was
about?
just it was one of those deals that I've been able to kind of input on Derek's life and kind of his path a little bit, and so I figured, I mean, this guy's about to be picked, kind of like an expansion team. Although St. Louis moving to Los Angeles, they're not an expansion team, but he's going to go through the same things that I went through. New city, right? Football's back in LA, so it's going to be just a whirlwind for him, and everything that he does is going to be the first time the LA Rams have done this since so long ago, just like the Oilers when the Texans came back. So it was just one of those deals that I just started putting some ideas together, and they were great over NFL.com to kind of help me out with it.
Right. So one would hope that his protection is going to be a little bit better.
Well,
than
I mean, their team's better. Their team's better. Well, man, I wouldn't wish that on anybody. I mean, that was a difficult situation. It was one of those deals where we were always fighting an uphill battle. Charlie Casually, he comes on the show all the time on HQ. I talked to him around the network, and he said just straight out, he's like, I just wouldn't have drafted you if I knew we couldn't have protected you. So it's one of those deals where you try to give some advice, you try to give something to help these kids out. I mean, they're a better team. The Los Angeles Rams are much better than we were.
So how does that affect a player when you're constantly getting
that's
hit
hard because
and hammered?
Yeah,
David?
because at the quarterback position, it's difficult because it's not like golf or it's not like just being a pitcher where you go out and you got one job to do. It's your job. You just go out there and you do your job. Don't have to worry about anything else. There's so many other variables that change. And it has to be the perfect storm. And you look at situations like what Tom Brady walked into, or I remember watching Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh had a good football team. They just needed a quarterback, and they drafted Ben Roethlisberger kind of middle of the first round. Perfect situation. Goes in, wins a couple Super Bowls. Aaron Rodgers, same thing, sit behind Brett Favre. And you got a good football team, but when you're out there and you think you're doing everything right, but your team's still struggling, you still can't get a first down. And you start to doubt yourself. Well, am I doing this wrong? I mean, it's worked all the way through. I got drafted number 1. I was a first-round pick for a reason. It's worked all the way up to that point. So what am I doing wrong? So you start not questioning yourself, but you start looking. There's got to be something going on. So you start to force the issue a little bit, and it becomes frustrating. It does. It becomes a frustrating deal.
The Rich Eisen Show, weekdays at noon Eastern on Audience.